think we're alive. We're alive. I think we're alive. Yeah.
We're all undead. It's an undead campaign.
Is anyone alive out there? Yeah. Welcome to episode 4 of Cold Iron. We're back with the progress side of the story. Last week was Winter Oak, and now we've gotten into the groove of the alternating back and forth. I will give a quick rundown of what happened, but first I want to say hello to all of my lovely players. I don't know, should we reintroduce ourselves again at the beginning of this, probably? Just maybe for the second show we'll do that. So let's start with Emily in the top left corner there.
All right. Hey, I'm Emily. I play Anna Sinclair.
Do you want to do class and race, if applicable?
Oh, right. She's a human rogue.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm Jordan. If I go around clockwise, I'm Jordan. I'm the DM. You can find me over on the Deck of Many, running Lost on the Great Road, or at this table right behind me every other Thursday playing D&D. And then also over playing as a character on a show called Intrigue in the Wilds, which is like a Feywild game that our friend Kit Battlebeard is running. All right below me is Miss Delicia. You want to go?
Hi, I'm Delicia. I'm playing Sierra. She's a human.
Human something or other. Yeah.
A human surprise.
Yeah.
I am a human surprise.
Yeah, a human surprise. I like that. I would describe Delicia as that as well. So. All right, and then we've got Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess. I'm playing Walker, the Bellis Ranger. I'm a half-elf. I think that's all that matters right now.
Right. Katie.
That's me. I'm Katie. I'm playing Lunabelle, a forest gnome wizard who has an adorable familiar, and his name is Noodle, and he is made of paper, like a book, but he looks like a dragon, which is one of Jordan's creations, which is super cool. And I think that's it.
All right. So, where we left off last week. So, you are all members on the train, a train called Progress that has been traveling north and into the woods on the continent of the Frostfeld, and you are all there for various reasons. Some of you are just passengers, some of you are employees and researchers on the train. Some of you were picked up along the way in the beginning of the first half of the last week's adventure, or the last session that we played. As Progress entered into the woods, you were stopped about an hour out before where you were supposed to stop, and there was a bit of a kerfuffle with the lead engineer, Walter. He had stopped the train early because someone had flagged him down. You later learned that someone's name was
Angus?
no. Why did it leave my head?
What?
Jonas,
yeah. How could I forget Jonas? It's nerves, I think. So, yeah, you snuck out. Well, not really snuck out of the train. The train stopped, and out of curiosity, Anna, Lunabelle, and Walker left the train to go and investigate what was going on. You came across Walter talking to a young man in Bellis garb, and learned that he was Jonas and that he was warning them of something on the track further up. A tree had grown through the train tracks. Walter didn't heed this warning and then had to put on the brakes real hard, maybe about 20 minutes later, to avoid another collision. As you disembarked of the train once again, you discovered that there was in fact a large black tree growing out of the train tracks, and like very forcefully grown out of the train tracks, and another train had collided with it, which Jonas had explained was his train, or the train he was working on. Hidden in the wreckage was Sierra, a mysterious person who who is mysterious for various reasons. And you all decided to start. You took some time to investigate what was going on. During that investigation, you did discover that there was some kind of black ichor goop sap coming out of the tree, and then that sap seemed to coagulate into two humanoid figures, which you entered into combat with. It was soon realized that you were dealing with some kind of possession, that there were living people inside of these things, and that the goop was kind of controlling them. And you subdued them as best as you could. The druid Fennel, who works with Walter, helped clear off the goop, and that's sort of where we left last game. What was revealed under the goop was in fact a dwarf, but not an elf. It was a half-orc woman. Slender, and the pointy, between the slenderness and the pointy ears, gave away the impression of an elf. You learned that she is in fact a half-orc named Mariah, and the dwarf is another train engineer named Herman. They were kind of unconscious and half dazed, and they were whisked away to the chapel car that also has a kind of infirmary in it that is run by the Church of Astley, and that's where they've been for the last little bit. About a day has passed, and since that happened, and you haven't really been given permission by anyone to go and talk to them. It's kind of not supposed to be in your pay grade, and they were kind of whisked away before you really had a chance. But you do know they're in the chapel car. And in the day preceding, the two things have been happening. The track has been being extended. A crew has been sent ahead to continue extending the track past where the tree is. It goes for about a mile after the tree, but then they've been pushing it further past there. And then a crew is trying to get the tree away and also tidy up the track. So that's the reason the train has been stopped, is just obviously it can't move past. And yeah, you talked to me a little bit pre-game about some of the things you were doing. Walker, you definitely had a lot of time to do some hunting. I imagine basic game for you is probably pretty simple. Like, if you want to catch a deer or an elk, you can do that without an issue. Would you have been hunting after anything specific?
Well, I would have, sorry, had my eyes open for anything exciting. My like, what is it, prey of choice is beast, so that's my basic, like, I already have that down, I'm good, like, been there, done that. So if there's anything new and exciting, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for any hints and clues about, like, new species I haven't seen before.
Sure. Well, you definitely came back with a stag. I don't know if you keep trophies or what you do, or what you would do with the meat in that case, but
cooked it,
right.
It, shared it with the food cart if they wanted any of it, but definitely kept some choice pieces and attempted, if I was able to make some dishes myself, I'd be cooking.
Sure. The folks that run the food car are pretty friendly and are happy to have any help, with changing up the meals. Obviously, they had to bring some stuff that traveled well, right? Give me a investigation roll.
That is 17 plus 1, 18.
18?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. You did not find any strange beasts, nothing like what was described to you maybe by Jonas about the boars that he attacked or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you did find heavy boot prints, maybe about a mile off from the train, that seemed to head. There was a group of them, maybe. Your guess is between 6 and 8 heavy boots, heading towards sort of northeast of the train, a little further into the woods. They don't seem like dwarf footprints. You're not sure. They're big, but they don't seem like any footprints that you recognize immediately. But there's a large group of people heading northeast.
Okay. And I don't see any more signs of like black goop or poisoned anything or anything like that, because I'd be looking out for that.
No, you do keep a close eye out for that, and the stag and the animals that you run into are clean. I guess is the uncorrupted is the best way.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry, apparently our audio was a little low, so I'm just double checking.
Okay. Cool.
So, Anna and Luna Bell, you had mentioned. Anna, you had mentioned being interested in the blueprints for your gun and maybe trying to get the repairs done there. So you were probably spending time in the tinker car with Fidja, the gnome tinkerer. She would be the first person you would ask to help with that.
Okay.
Are you interested in having her repair it? Do you want her to know about it? Would you have tried to ask about it without letting on what was going on?
Yeah, I do, because I don't really know a lot of people on the train really well yet. I do want to be vague about it, but I want to try to get as much information as I can.
Right.
From her, like, yeah, without saying anything.
So you do know that Lunabelle is friends with them, and she has some tinkering capabilities of her own, and also Lunabelle knows you have strange weapons now. So that would be maybe a good way to get the repairs done or what have you.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely would want to check in with Lunabelle, and I feel like I'd be a little more inclined to share blueprints with her.
Okay.
At this point.
Walker also expressed interest in the blueprints and the guns. How sneaky would you have been, Anna?
Like while I was shooting them, or just asking about it?
Everyone knows about it now, as far as this group goes.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I'm pretty sure I can't really hide them anymore.
I meant more getting them repaired or the blueprints and that kind of stuff. Like, how secretive would you have been with Lunabelle about getting that done?
Yeah, I've been pretty upfront that I need one of them repaired, but I don't really think I would have let on to most of the train that I have the blueprints on.
Right, okay. But Walker might know.
I think Walker would know.
Okay.
Because I think I would have been, like, studying them, like, at dinner or something, just kind of, like,
all right,
behind my plate or something.
So we'll say during a dinner before the night's poker game, you were going over the blueprints at the table. Sierra, would you be joining them, do you think?
Yeah, I think there's definite interest in this gun. It's really odd, and she has some questions.
All right. So you're all sitting down at dinner, and Anna, you're trying to, like, unfold just enough of the blueprint to be able to see the notes about where. And Lunabelle, you are kind of I imagine you to be very eagerly trying to get your hands on the blueprints themselves or see them more clearly. I don't know. But yeah.
I'm going out of my way to try to keep them from Sierra. Like, from seeing what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Because I don't know her.
Right.
Yeah.
And the gun is not out, I assume.
Maybe. I think I'd have at least the broken one on me.
Okay.
Like.
Well, I mean, we can roleplay this a little bit, I guess, if you guys want to talk about it a little bit.
I think if she was okay with that, I think Walker would walk up and be like, Well, Miss Anna, would you mind if I sat here with you? And I'm really curious about that weapon you had on you. And I have to say, it seemed rather efficient, and I find that to be an important characteristic in one's weapons.
Well, join me if you want. I don't know how efficient it is. I really only successfully used it once.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll just take a seat.
I'll walk up there with like a bottle of whiskey, some glasses, and ask if I can cut in on this conversation. Feel like we could all use a drink after what happened out there.
So for context, Sierra, you were just provided a berth in the train passenger car. You kind of what did you say to the powers that be to kind of get invited along on the ride?
It's incredibly terrifying what's happening out there, and just a gal outside by herself definitely shouldn't be. Willing to pay my way and do what I gotta do to help out, but I can't leave me all alone.
Walter would have definitely broken very quickly on that concept, I think. So, also in the interim, you were able to go retrieve your horse, whose name is
Dolce.
And Dolce has been escorted to the stable car, and he's being kept nice and, or he or she, sorry.
She
is being kept very well fed and happy.
Yay.
So Sierra sits down at the table with a bottle of whiskey and 4 glasses.
How good of a quality is this whiskey? Like, is it like the good stuff, or is it like brewed in a boot? I don't know.
I think it's in between there. It's not brewed in a boot.
Okay.
It's not insulting whiskey, but it's just it's not the top shelf.
All right, it's okay, acceptable. I'll concede to kind of letting Sierra join us for this conversation.
Booze always seems to make it easier to have people around, I guess. Cool. Yeah, so you have this blueprint out, and everyone's kind of staring at it. You can't figure it out. You give me just an intelligence roll.
Oh, me?
Anna, yeah, sorry.
Oh God. Oh, poor dumb Anna.
Can I help her since I'm extra smart?
We're just setting the baseline for what she knows here about the blueprint,
valid.
yeah, and then we'll go from there.
I got 12.
Okay, you found on the blueprint where the same break is in the like where you've managed to figure out where on the blueprint is the situation, the problem with the gun, but you have no idea how to translate one thing into the fixing of the other, and it's kind of frustrating.
Okay, sounds about right.
So Anna shows a bit of frustration as she's kind of like turning the blueprint a bit.
Does seem mighty complicated.
It's so above my dad would be able to fix this no problem, but it's just above. It's too far above my head. I just don't understand any of these.
So now, not to be rude, Anna, but I think I might be able to help you because in perfect honesty, these look a little bit basic compared to what I'm used to.
These are only prototypes designed by Sinclair. Do you reckon Sinclair Industries? These were designed by Gerard Sinclair. You're calling his work basic?
Well, only that I can do this, and I whip out like 4 separate mechanical moving portions of my armor all at the same time that all start like looking like they're going to do magical things, and I'll be like, so it's not that his work is basic, and I certainly don't know how to make one of those, But I definitely think that there's probably parts of it that I might know how to fix.
I shut up real quick. I'm like, all right, Luna, here, take a look, please.
I'll put all the bits of my, like, everything will just start retracting into my, like, armor again. And I'll be like, okay, I'm really happy to help. And I'll start, like, taking a look at the blueprints and, like, seeing if I can recognize what's gone wrong.
Yeah, make a tinker roll. Make an intelligence roll with your proficiency bonus.
Okay. Intelligence. 15.
Yeah, mechanically, it's similar to some large-scale weapons you've heard of, like cannons and things like that, but someone has managed to shrink it down into a handheld form that holds 4 shells of some kind that seem to do 4 explosive little rounds that will fire off when the trigger's pulled. It's actually a very refined piece of technology considering how few moving parts there really are to it.
Anna, this is cooler than I thought. This is like a tiny little cannon in here. There's a lot going on, man. Whoa.
Yep. My dad
Holy.
he was pretty impressive at what he did.
This came from your dad? Is this a traditional thing? He passed it on to you?
No. Sometimes he would get contracts from the Belix City Watch to develop some new weapons to deal with the riffraff in there, but this one never made it to the City Watch. This is new.
So could we send your dad a letter and he could help explain how to fix it?
He died pretty recently. So I mean, you could try. I don't think he'd get it.
My condolences, Miss Anna.
Thank you.
Sorry, Anna.
I miss him a lot.
Seems like he was a real smart fella.
He was, if only my half-brother was as smart as he was.
Slide some more whiskey into her glass.
Well,
I
Anna, I
down
think
it pretty
between the
quick.
4 of us, we can totally fix this.
Thank you. I'll be very, very grateful.
How do we fix it, Jordan?
So I'll need another tinker roll from you. Same thing.
That's a little better. 16.
So you actually notice that a part's missing that you have readily available just on your armor itself. There's a spring that keeps the hammer from the spring that pushes the hammer forward that fires the or ignites the shell, and you've got extra parts on you pretty much at all times, and this is a small one that's very simple. You know that you get the sensation that if any bigger destruction would happen to it, custom pieces may have to be made, but this is a simple enough break that you can solve it. And you just pull out a few tinker tools and manage to tweak that piece, and you the whole front of the pistol clicks and seems to be, you can spin the barrel and everything seems to be back in action.
Whoa! I think I did it, Anna. I think I did it.
Thank you.
How do we test it? And I hold it very dangerously.
I'm like, no. We'll test it later. I think it's fine right now. I only have so many of the little shots that go in it.
Oh, okay.
So I may need your help to try to design some more. I only have a few with me.
I can try. It might be a little difficult for me to do anything really impressive without magic, and I don't think there's any magic in there, and that's really cool.
I would definitely appreciate your discretion, all of you, on these blueprints. It's important that no one knows I have them on me.
Sure.
That won't be a problem.
Are you not supposed to have them?
I am supposed to have them. Somebody else thinks that they should have them.
Is it your brother?
It is. And we didn't end on very good terms. So I'm just going to keep these under my belt.
Well, I solemnly swear not to tell your brother anything about this thing that goes pew.
Does it have a name?
The blueprints only say that it's a repeater pistol. I don't know really what that means, but
Weapons should have names.
yeah. I'll have to think on that one.
What about Boris?
No, I'm not feeling Boris, but thank you.
I'll keep thinking about it.
Yeah, we'll brainstorm some names later.
Perfect.
At this point, 4 elk steaks are brought to the table, and venison steaks, I guess is what I would be calling them, are brought to the table, and they're nice, healthy portions with a nice leafy salad and a bottle of wine with a note on it.
Oh, is this from Constance?
If you want to check the note.
Yeah, well,
Just leave the note.
yeah. I just kind of assume it is, and I wait for someone else to check because
I'll check.
Yeah, it's from Jonas.
Oh.
And it just says it says thank you for backing me up when Walter wouldn't. Enjoy this drink on me.
Walker, I think that means he has a crush on you.
I don't think that's how it works. I really thought that the wine was just coming with the steaks because I brought them that venison.
You brought the... Whoa! Everyone is way cooler than I thought. I mean, you're all really cool.
Has anyone seen Jonas around?
Jonas has been spending a lot of time. You haven't really seen him in the past day. He's been spending a lot of time in the infirmary with the 2. Yeah.
The chapel where the 2 people.
The chapel, yeah. The chapel doubles as an infirmary because they're
sense.
the clerics and the medics. Yeah.
Cool.
So, it's not late. You guys can finish up your meal and explore a little bit of the train tonight. It's up to you.
Should we go give him a visit? Is that something we should do?
Well, it's only polite to thank him in person.
Yeah. But let's have the wine first.
We're drinking well tonight.
You're gonna get real drunk and then go talk to Jonas.
Hey, Jonas, how's it going?
We love you too, Jonas.
Oh my
You're the best.
God.
Do you have a crush on Walker, Jonas?
Oh, Luna, please don't start that.
I know some really good wedding planners back in Bellisk.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know how we got here. I'm real confused. I'm just gonna drink this.
So, you finish off your meals and the bottle. It is addressed. It's got everyone's name on it. It's not just Walker's name. So you finish up the wine. You want to head down to see if he's there or other things?
Check in on the goopy boys.
Yeah. They're now
I think, yeah.
They're goopy folks now because one of them is a woman.
I want to go see Jonas, but Sierra, I also heard a rumor that maybe you have a pony, and maybe if you want to take me to see it, maybe at some point, that would be really fun.
I think that can be arranged, especially.
Are you self-taught with your horse, or did you get riding lessons? Did you get the professional with riding side saddle as well?
Oh,
that's how
no.
I was taught to ride.
No, I grew up on a ranch. You can't. Well, where are you from?
Bellisk, where are you from?
So, you know the cat. Well, we didn't eat cow, but steaks generally come from cows, and someone's got to raise the cows. Um, that was me. That was my family's. That was our job, and horses are pretty useful when you're doing that, and it's not practical to ride them side saddle, I think you called it. Ye- No, no, you just
Okay.
grow up doing it.
Well, I also grew up doing it. Just side saddle.
Well, maybe we'll have a race one day, and we'll see who's a little more efficient on a horse.
I do love the horse races.
What?
I can wear my hat.
You could both teach me to ride the horse.
Oh, you need a pony or maybe like a Shetland.
I mean, you could ride with one of us.
I guess, yeah.
We'll see. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just how tall is she?
Like 3 feet.
I feel like Sierra's quite tall, so she's just like, oh my gosh, it's just so precious. Like I can't handle it.
Gnomes are fairly well and dwarves are fairly well integrated into the society of Bellisk and Progress, and so they do have smaller horses for gnomes to ride. They are like a pony type thing.
Miniature horse.
So if you teach me to ride, I can get a pony?
Can she buy a pony on this train?
The stable car has a few horses and ponies for general use as they need to be brought up. It's not like you have to buy them or rent them even. You just need to get permission. So horses are available. But that car is kind of in the opposite direction of the chapel car.
Well, we should definitely go see Jonas first, because the wine was really good, but maybe soon we can go learn how to ride a pony.
Yeah, now when you've had whiskey and wine.
No drinking and horse
Don't
racing.
ride and drink. Drink and ride. Don't drink and ride.
All right, yeah. So the chapel car is actually 4 cars up from the dining car, up towards the actual engine itself. And so you folks can hop out of the train and start heading up that way. It's about 7:30, something like that. So the sun has set. The little lanterns on the outside of the cars are all lit, so it's an easy path down the way. And the chapel car is actually one of the cars that has the door on the side. It's only really accessible while the train is stopped, unless you were in it when it started moving, like the lab cars and that kind of stuff. And it actually appears, it kind of appears to be like a little building. It's on wheels and it's a train car like anything else, but it has a nice, it has some stained glass windows and a nice arched kind of doorway to kind of simulate what the churches back in Bellisk proper look like.
Good church aesthetic.
Yeah, and the train is very well designed. It's not like metal in a lot of places. It's got wood cars. Everything is very posh, except for the military car, which is heavily armored, and the army sleeper. But yeah, everything else has like a wooden veneer at least around it. And so this chapel doesn't stick out so much other than the detailing on it. The door is shut. There's a little set of stairs that lead up to it that fold up underneath the train when they're not needed. So, yeah. And there's a light coming from warm light coming from inside and a little bit of chatter.
I think Sierra's a little uncomfortable with going in. She's very interested in investigating, but the fact that this now appears to be a church full on is a little awkward for her, and so she's a little reluctant to go inside.
Okay.
Don't worry, Sierra. I can hold your hand if you're feeling a little scared. I know it's a little scary.
That's very kind of you. Sure.
Look, look, now we're best friends. And I like start skipping towards Eva.
Oh, Katie. All right.
I
So
kind of like look over at Walker, like, ah.
I was thinking that. I was like, that sounds so we I like take
Yeah.
her hand too. And I sort of like try to be sort of gentlemanly, escort her up because she seems like such a fine lady.
Thank you.
who's knocking on the door, or how are you approaching this? All right.
Hello, we're here.
There's a gentle voice that says, "Come in."
Okay, and I open the door.
As you get in, you see there are 5 people here. Two beds with the 2 members of the train from the crash that you found, and the dwarf and the half-orc, and they're sort of resting. Their eyes kind of flicker open when you come in the door, but they don't seem to react. And then Jonas, who is sitting in a chair between them with a book. And then in the more kind of chapel-y side of things, there's just a couple of rows of pews, and there is a human man sort of sitting in the front pew. He has a book of his own. He's got half-plate armor on and a tabard with Astley's symbol on it. And then the person who was speaking to you, the soft-spoken person, was a dwarven cleric who stood up as you entered. She says, "Well, welcome to the chapel. We're quite busy tonight. How can I help you? I don't believe we've met. I'm Sister Greta," and she puts out her hand to, I guess, Lunabelle, who's the closest person.
Without letting go of Sierra's hand, I put up my other hand and shake her hand.
She has to. Sister Greta has to switch to her other hand to shake because you're. It's nice to meet you. I'm surprised we haven't run into each other, but I guess we haven't had a lot of time to socialize. Is there are you just visiting, or do you want some quiet time in the pews, or?
We came to visit our new friends. We just met them the other day, and they're in here because I think they're tired.
Oh, I wasn't aware they had other friends on the train. Well, that's good. They're recovering well, I think. They're a little and she leans in close. She says, "They're a little skittish, so
So I'll be really quiet.
Sure. Yes, no, of course. I just try not to crowd them, but feel free." And she sits back down again and is just sort of watching you and also reading a book and kind of quiet meditation type things. Jonas, of course, notices you and says, "Wow, I didn't expect all of you to come all at once. Did you get my gift?"
I just look at Walker and smile.
I appreciate everything that you all did for me, and the previous group of people that I met out here were not quite as kind, so I wanted to make sure that I showed my appreciation. I hope the bottle was satisfactory. I'm a man of meager means, but I really wanted to show my gratitude.
It's much appreciated. Thank you so much. Have you heard anything?
I know that they are struggling somewhat with getting the tree cut down. It appears it appears to have grown back somewhat since the work that it was done earlier in the day. So now they're attempting to find a way to uproot it, which will, I think, delay progress in all the meanings of the word for another day or two.
What about your friends? Do you any information? What is someone treating them?
He gently puts his hand down on the half-orc's arm, and she she turns her head over to him and gives him a toothy smile, and she says, Don't worry, we're gonna bounce back. I didn't expect to be surviving that crash. So I'm just happy that I'm here. I wish I knew what happened. I'm so worried that I hurt someone. And Jonas says they don't remember anything since... They don't remember anything after the crash. And then waking up lying in the dirt, surrounded by you. They seem to be doing okay. I'm worried about their mental states, but it's soothing here. And Greta and Remus have been very kind, so... And he gestures over to the two priests.
I think you'd have to forgive us just as much for fighting you as we would have to forgive you for hurting at us. So, I think it's all forgiven and we're all okay. And I think we're all just wishing you well. While I'm like, can I like check if once again just because like the same thing I recognized it being very unnatural with the goop before? Can like. Do I notice anything like funky or weird about these people? They seem to be completely back to normal.
You can give me an insight check if you like. Unless you want to approach it from like an arcana kind of...
No, that's... I'll take the insight, thank you.
I thought as much.
14 plus 3, 17?
Yeah, they seem exhausted. They don't seem to have a lot of strength. Like something has been draining them a little. I mean, they're both of them are fairly young looking. The dwarf can't be much older than 100 years old, and the half-orc looks, 20, 25. Both are very strong. It's obvious why this team was put together of just the three of them to lay down the track to get progress started. They seem like if they were at full strength, they'd be really well suited to just power through some things. But they seem to struggle to move very fast right now. Like something has sapped their energy. Like when you have a bad cold, and your whole body aches and everything is just, you feel like you're drowning in molasses, which I guess...
Like the emotional goop.
Yeah, and technically a day earlier they were drowning in molasses, so, it's not that.
Now they're emotional goopy folks, and before they were, like, physical goopy folks.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Rough emotional goop.
Yeah, but otherwise their wounds seem to be healing and minimal, and neither of them seem to have any ill will towards you. Jonas inquires, so, until the train's moving again, what are you ladies thinking of doing with your time?
Apparently we might go for a bit of a ride, but...
Oh, that sounds real nice.
You know how to ride, Jonas?
Teach me how to ride a horse. You should come.
There was a time when I knew how to handle a beast of burden, but it's been a while.
I've never done it, so you could come and you still wouldn't be the worst one.
Well, that's good to know. I suppose if that's an official invite, I will try to be there when you do so.
Yay!
I don't suggest going at night if you were thinking of going tonight, but I
Probably
ain't your,
not.
I
We're
ain't
not
your
supposed
keeper,
to drink
so.
and ride, I think.
Oh, right. You've had some of my wine, my gift, right? Well, I was hoping, I was hoping that the bottle would last you a few days at least. So, to help
I
you
kind
get...
of like look around and like count the number of us just to like try to make sense in my mind a bottle for 4 people.
I drink from a whiskey bottle, a few sips at a time, so...
We had one of those too.
Oh, wow.
I don't think we finished it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Switched.
You were obviously tying one on tonight. So.
It's been a long, difficult couple days.
Right. Right. Well, take it easy tonight, and I hope you find something to entertain yourselves in the morning. I think I'm going to stay here, at least until they've got a bit of their strength back. I feel partially responsible for what happened to them since I did not remain when the crash occurred. So, yeah.
If you stayed, you would have only ended up like them, and you wouldn't have been able to help.
Right, but... Right.
The
Yeah,
best
if you
can
hadn't
do
been
is
there.
track down who did this.
I suppose you're right. That's one way to look at it. I'm glad that I survived long enough to make sure that they did too.
Is there any thought given to perhaps finding who's behind all this?
I'm very much interested in learning more about that situation. I just think I need time with to make sure that they're okay. Maybe they'll remember something in time as well.
Just kind of like rolls her eyes a bit, but nods. Sometimes you gotta follow the trail while it's still hot.
Right. Well, anything I can do to help. And if they say anything of interest, other than snoring, then I'll make sure to pass it along to you immediately. I don't know who that man was that appeared out of the goop, as it were, but it was unsettling, to say the least.
I think anything goop related is pretty unsettling.
You're not wrong. He leans back. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just say, we did take a sample of the goop to bring back to the lab to study. Maybe we could take a look at that in the morning.
Smarter minds than mine, I think, should really be looking at that specimen for sure.
And Anna's the person to do it.
Walker, I ate a delicious steak today. I was expecting more beans and eggs and bacon and stuff. So, do you know where that came from?
I mean, I got them the venison, but I'm a little sad that they didn't take my advice and, add an infusion of the foraged mushrooms and things I got. I think it goes a long way to appreciate the natural flavors. Anyway, it's fine. It was all right. Could have done a little better myself, but it's fine.
Well,
glad you liked it.
I think it improved what probably would have been a fairly bland meal. But your natural roughage sounds like it would actually improved it even more. So, I think.
Guys, he likes her natural roughage.
If I heard this, I'm just death glaring her right now.
Anyhow, I'm just happy to. It was good. It was good to eat it.
Yep. I agree.
With my mouth.
Thanks, glad you liked it. Thanks for the wine, but I'm gonna go ahead and get out now. Bye.
Good luck with whatever you get up to in the morning, ladies. If I can join you for a ride, I would love to.
Definitely. We'll definitely come get you, and you can definitely come.
Thanks. Definitely.
And then, still holding Sierra's hand, I turn around and start skipping away.
I like to think that I was still holding on to Walker's hand and like just got dragged out.
Well, I was gonna say I would have waited outside the door, like to like escort you down the stairs, but I was like trying to get out of that situation.
Once we're outside the door, the door's closed. Walker, I told you he likes you. He likes you.
Oh my
He wants to
goodness.
ride with you.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
Ladies, if you could just I don't know how to handle this.
Look, she's blushing. She likes him too.
I'm just real uncomfortable, if I'm honest.
So where to now? Are you going to meet Dolce?
I can't ride at night. I mean, you want to meet the horse? That's cute, but I'm more interested in the lab if it's open.
Bunch of drunk rowdy. Just go smashing things around in the lab.
Go do some science, guys.
Yeah, do some drunk science.
How you make the best discoveries?
The lab. There won't be anyone in the lab, but Lunabelle, you do have access. Or sorry, yeah, Lunabelle and Anna both have access to it. So, but there won't. You don't expect there to be anyone else there.
What do you typically do at night on this train?
Sometimes I play poker.
Yeah. You do cards. Constance is a pretty good card buddy with us. Or me, at least.
We could also sneak into the lab. Oh.
Is it sneaking when y'all have a key?
I mean, if we tiptoe.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
It's up to you. We can fast forward to the morning as well. So.
I think the morning would be a little better because then we could actually use the people around us in the lab to help us with the science. But
Sure. It's up to you.
yeah. What do you think? Should we wait till the morning? We can ask Constance and who's it's and the other one.
Our good friends.
Yeah, our good pals, our good pal who's it's.
There is your boss, Mervis.
Yeah, Mervis, that's the one I was talking about. Good old
There's
Mervis.
Bernard, and then who is a human, and then Farg, the hobgoblin.
Classic Farg.
So, it's up to you. That looks
What
like
do
a
you
morning
think,
time.
Lunabelle? Do you think you could do anything with the goop? What kind of scientist are you?
I'm a magical scientist who does magic with science.
Can you magic some goop?
I
Magic some answers out of the goop.
figure out if there's magic in the goop.
All right, let's go see some goop.
Sure.
Late night goop investigation.
Yeah.
Right, so you start heading back towards the back of the train. It's actually, the lab cars are amongst the last 5 cars of the train. It's 5-10 minutes, and now you're back there. There are 2 cars. They both have doors on the sides, similar to the chapel does. And there's a light on in one of them.
Is someone else doing nighttime science?
It would appear so. Or someone is wasting lamp oil.
Maybe we should get back to that tiptoeing y'all were mentioning.
Yeah, big tiptoeing. And I start lifting my knees up really high.
I just do the cartoon tiptoes.
So what is the application of this sneakiness? Are you someone going to try and peek in a window, or are
Yeah,
you
like
all-
maybe-
Yeah, I think that could.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
sneak around the side and like peek in to see what's happening.
all right.
Lift me up.
Okay. So I guess if I'll need stealth rolls from Walker and Lunabelle in that case.
We committed to that. 11.
17.
Okay.
Why is that the number of the night for me?
Yeah. So Lunabelle starts to just kind of dash off towards, and there's a lot of snow crunching underneath her feet. Walker, you quickly kind of snatch her up and lift her up and kind of carry her the last half of the distance and up to the window. Give me a perception check. Yes, sorry, Lunabelle, yeah.
Well, I'm good at that.
That's good.
8. It was a 4.
All you can really get from what's happening is that Farg is in there. He's leaning over. I'm sorry.
Oh no, guys!
The dog beat my perception check. She's up there. I think I see Farg, you guys. I don't know what he's doing, but I see him.
I'm wondering if any of us know Farg really well.
I do.
I think Lunabelle's the closest to him.
Okay.
Farg's my friend. I don't think he's doing bad science, but he's definitely doing nighttime science by himself, I think.
He's a hobgoblin, isn't he?
But he's my friend. You have a weird mini cannon, and you're still my friend.
I mean, but I'm a human.
Wait a minute.
Now, Miss Anna.
Okay, I think I'm back now. I'm sure that was extremely funny for the viewers at home.
Racist.
That was my roommate's dog, Darby, who wants to steal the show. Okay, we're back, and I missed what you said. I'm sorry. You were talking about Farg, right?
Yeah.
Farg.
Hobgoblins are known for being nefarious. They run all the worst gangs back in Bellisk.
So, Lunabelle...
I'm just, like, deflated.
Lunabelle, just to finish by, what you saw, he's facing away from you. He seems to be hunched over a work table. You can't really make out what he's doing or whatever, but he seems to be doing something.
Yeah, so I basically had said to everyone, I can't really see what he's doing, but it looks like he's doing nighttime science, but I don't think he's doing bad science. And then Anna said that he was bad because he's a hobgoblin.
I guess hobgoblins give us some trouble in Bellisk.
Well, now you're on the train, Anna, and you should think of everyone on the train as your friend, because everyone's friendly.
I don't think just because you had trouble with some folk back in Bellisk means that just because some other folk look kind of like them, they're going to be the exact same.
We'll see.
Had trouble with plenty of humans in my life.
I've never had trouble with anyone. I think we should just go in and say hi, because he's my friend, and maybe he can help us, and maybe he's just busy, and we'll have to do our science alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Looking at the goop.
All right, let's go.
So, Lunabelle, you just kind of open the door and peek in?
Sure.
There is a kind... You realize that you didn't hear it through the window, but Farg is kind of... he's not sobbing, but he's obviously upset about something, and he turns to you as you come in, and he's, like, wiping his nose and, like frantically trying to, like, push the, like, rub the tears, a little bit of tears out of his fur around his face.
Then accidentally, like, put smut there, and then, like...
Yeah, exactly, and it's just making it worse. And he's got a blue nose. He's like a reddish colored hobgoblin, but with a very distinct blue nose, which seems to be a little more vibrant right now. And he goes, Lunabelle, I wasn't expecting to see you.
Friend, are you okay? And I, like, run up to him and hug him.
He, like, lifts his arms up and looks down. He's like, I'm fine. I am in control of my, business. Thank you, but I don't need this. You're here to work. I'm working, and he's obviously got something out in front of him.
What are you working on?
Wait, did you bring a bunch of people here? Did they see me?
No. I mean, Anna. And then
Right.
there's Walker and Sierra, and they're all really nice.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm just trying to make sure that I am not behind on yesterday's work. Or tomorrow's work, I mean. You can work here if you need to.
Okay, buddy, you let us know if you need anything, okay?
No, I've got it all figured out. It's fine. I don't need help.
Well,
And he's like still kind of like trying to regain composure.
What is he doing? Like, what's in front of him? Can we see that?
He's got a couple of like rock samples that he's looking at. And he has a few like scrolls that are open that seem to have rituals written on them. And he is trying to... It's hard to tell what he's trying to do. You can give me an Arcana check if you want.
I can do that. 13.
Yeah, without like picking them up and getting a really close look, you're not gonna really know. And he's kind of taken one arm and pushed stuff off to the side to not to really hide it from you necessarily, but just to give you a little more space at the cramped work table. This place is filled with all kinds of alchemical gadgetry and a few plants and samples and stuff in jars, and then a modest library of reference material and a pile of rolled up scrolls of various rituals sort of scattered around in here. So what are you doing with your nighttime drunk science?
I'm curious what he's looking at, so I'd say like, oh, maybe we can help you get sort of a heads up on your work.
I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. He leans in kind of close and he says, I have trouble with when Lunabelle says that everyone is nice, when I know that is not the case.
You're wise. Yeah, she's a little trusting, but I was picked up on the road. I'm taking some shelter in this train, and I would love to be of any help that I can be to its passengers. But I'm Sierra. No need to share your business with me. I'm just happy to help should you need it, and offer him like a hand. Just be charming and friendly, but not in his space because he's obviously very upset.
I'll let you make a persuasion roll. What's everyone else doing?
19.
He looks up at you with a kind of like his face changes from pretending to be tough to like actually seems like he's thankful someone might be able to help him. He has kind of not a pleading look, but sort of like that. And he goes, I would appreciate any help that you could provide, but there are rules. You are not one of the researchers. If I get caught breaking the rules, all my credibility. I fight so hard to make them trust me.
I know how that is. Scout's honor. It's between you and me. I have no one to tell. I don't know anyone here.
Right. I'm just trying to... I am studying to be a transmuter. To convert materials from one thing to another. And this ritual is confounding me.
Can I look at what he's got?
Sure. I'll let you do an Arcana check. Yeah, just another Arcana check. What's everyone else doing?
I'm playing with a scale just on a table, kind
Right.
of poking it, watching it go up and down.
Okay. Hard at work.
Yeah.
And Lunabelle, are you getting the goop out?
You're muted.
I am, my bad. I think Anna has the goop, and so I'd probably go up to Anna while she's poking around with the scale and just say like, "Hey, do you want to take a look at that goop again?"
Oh yeah, here it is. I pull it out of like my pocket in its like metal container, and just kind of like push it all on Lunabella because I have no idea what to do with it.
I guess I would try and take it and like, there's got to be some kind of sterile, safe zone where I can put a little bit out because I'm just gonna cast Identify on it with my little magnifying glass style.
Sure. And you can cast as a ritual, because you've got the time to do that if you want. It takes an extra 10 minutes, but...
Sure.
Okay, we'll say that you're doing that right now. The sterile isn't really like an option, but there are clean spaces where you can set up at this counter. It's kind of got like an iron top on it so that it's metal and keeps things cold. Sierra, what did you roll on your
20, not natural.
Wow, nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you are still new to magic, but and in fact, it's not really your forte, but you've gained an innate knowledge of it, and
you're new to magic.
You are you're pretty sure that you can help him. You could help him cast this ritual. It seems like a very simple transmutation spell that will just convert, depending on what words you use. It's basically the words, you change the words depending on the material that you'd like to turn it into. And he has like a block. He just has like a rock in front of him.
What are you trying to do with the rock? Changing it around? Do you have something in mind?
I just want it to be something different from what it is.
I think you need to pick what you want it to be. It's a little important to this.
Silver. I want to make it silver.
Okay, so can I like show him sort of the words I think he has to change?
Sure. And you two can be working on that. Walker, what are you doing right now?
I'm sort of standing in between the two of them because I'm interested in the science, but I'm also interested in this like upset hobgoblin dude. But I'm keeping my the only science I know is like plants and animals and nature stuff. So that's all.
And culinary.
Yeah, gastronomy. Yeah. A little bit.
Farg does like keep looking over his shoulder at you.
I try and I'm trying to give them their space a little bit because I don't want to upset him, but I'm just interested in.
He, as you are working on the ritual, he asks Sierra, "Is the half-elf dangerous?"
No. I mean, I don't know her well, but she's been very friendly to me. I'm a total stranger. I mean, what you're doing, you have no cause to be concerned about anyone seeing it. It's nothing bad or dangerous.
Right. I think I have the plague of appearing dangerous following me around for a long time. But I appreciate the sentiment. You continue on the ritual. So Identify gets cast on it. It has a illusory. It has a vibe of illusion to it, which is strange because it's very, very tangible and still in the form that it was when it dripped out of the tree. But it comes across as a fake of something. Like it's the school of magic it would be most linked to would be illusion in your mind.
Okay. I will turn to Walker, who appears to be observing, and say that I can't figure out exactly what it is, Walker, but I can tell that it's still some kind of like trick of the eyes, like some kind of illusion. It still isn't what it appears to be, but I can't get past what it appears. Does that make sense?
Sorta. I mean, even Fennel, knowing what she knew, called it a curse, right?
Mm-hmm.
All I could tell is that it was highly unnatural.
Yeah, I mean, we could ask Farg once he's done whatever he's doing, but I don't know if it's really in his wheelhouse either.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nothing. I was just gonna say it doesn't hurt to try.
At this point, Farg and Sierra finish their ritual, and Walker, as you look over, the rock turns to... It maintains the same shape, but it turns from its rough-hewn kind of nature into a smooth, silvery rock. And, yeah, it appears to be now raw silver, as though it had been chiseled out of a mine.
Anna's suddenly very interested in the silver.
Farg goes, haha, it worked! Oh, oh. Now I have to do it again for everyone tomorrow.
You did it in front of me, and I'm a total stranger.
Well, I guess that's true. But I'm not worried about disappointing you.
Maybe you should be. Just practice it a couple more times and get some sleep.
Yes, I'll sleep. I'll sleep eventually. Do you need any help with what you've helped me? What are you here for? It doesn't make... I don't know. Lunabelle, you are much more proficient at this than me. I don't know why you would need to do after-hours work. Anna, well, Lunabelle, I don't know why you would be here.
Well, Farg, it was just that we were just really curious, and we didn't want to wait, and we were so excited, and then nighttime science seemed like so much fun, and so we thought we could do some nighttime science, and obviously it's fun because you're doing it, and you're having fun, and you just did it, so...
It's not fun. I'm not here because it's fun. I guess if it's fun for you, then that makes me pleased, but I am not enjoying myself with my own work. But maybe your fun work will be fun for me because it's more fun. And he like tries to make a grin.
That's it. You're doing it, Farg. I don't know.
I'm doing the fun.
Yeah.
All right. It hurts something in me.
Oh. Well, it'll get easier if you practice, just like the magic.
All right. What are we looking at here? And he kind of stands up with a bit of authority and moves over to where you are.
Well, we got this goop out of the tree, and I can tell it's some kind of illusion, but I can't tell, like, I can't see past the illusion, and I don't know, like, what it even really is.
This came from the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Were you there?
Mm-hmm.
If any of you have been paying attention to rumors or whatever, most of the train isn't completely aware of what's going on, and they definitely didn't know that anyone was fought up there or that anything strange happened beyond the fact that the train had to stop because there was a tree on the tracks. So Farg is kind of looking at you with a lot of confusion on his face. You are very devoted to research if you were to approach that strange tree. I'm impressed.
Well, research is fun, right? Science.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And now you have goop. That is not goop.
Yeah. I mean, it might be goop, but it might be goop that it doesn't look like it is.
I think, I'm very curious as to what it may be, but I'm pretty sure I will not be able to help. We may be able to convince Mervis in the morning to take a look. Perhaps he knows some kind of spell of true seeing or something that will reveal this to us.
Okay, maybe, Farg, maybe. Don't mention the goop to anyone. I wouldn't want you to get in trouble because of my goop.
I don't want to get in trouble because of your goop either. It sounds very unpleasant.
Okay.
So no, I won't bring it up with Mervis until... Well, I won't bring it up. I'm not ever going to talk about it. But I will leave it to you to do that, Lunabelle.
Thanks, Farg. You're the best.
I'm not. I'm trying.
You will be the best.
I just want to be as good as the worst person, you know?
Well,
I just want to keep up is what I mean.
I look over at Anna, who might still be playing with the scales, and just go, I think you're doing a good job.
I want to be as good as the second worst person.
Anna's just oblivious that she's being, like, dunked on.
I mean, you're not a racist, so you got that heads up.
Right.
All right, Farg, I think we should go to bed, because I think you're tired, and I think we're drunk, and it's probably bedtime.
You came here drunk?
No. I was just joking, Farg. God.
We've never done an alcohol in our life.
Never. Farg, did you just say I was drunk, Farg? Don't spread rumors, Farg.
I must have misunderstood you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Okay, bedtime.
Well, I'll be coming later. Sierra has helped me, and I wish to make sure that I have got a good handle on this before the morning.
You're good, don't worry.
Thank you. Have a good night. I hope your goop problem is resolved sooner rather than later.
Thanks, Farg. Bedtime?
I'll have a good rest.
He goes back to what he's doing. He employs a wand in his magics, and you catch him perform it again, and it goes from silver to brass. And you leave the car, and now it's about 9 o'clock, and you are getting kind of tired, I guess, and drunk. You're not getting more drunk, I guess, because you aren't
You're
drinking.
getting more drunk.
Oh, are you bringing the goop with you? I assume so, right? Okay.
I'll give it back to Anna because she's good at being in charge of things.
I take it and just, like, shove it back in a really big, like, pocket. And you hear it, like, playing around with a couple other, like, vials of something.
I knew you'd be good at that, Anna.
Thank you, Luna. I'm very talented.
Yeah.
Can I get you for all to do a perception check as you step out of the train?
Yikes.
18.
Okay.
16.
21.
Whoa. So
9
perceptive.
plus 5, 14.
I feel like we should...
Yeah, you all hear from up near the front of the train, so it's quite a ways up, but you hear what sounds like a large piece of machinery, like a large saw blade trying to make its way through something further up. It's a loud noise that is echoing. You didn't hear it when you were inside, but it is echoing through the night back down the train.
Guys, it might not be bedtime.
Sounds kind of like what our factories used to sound like.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a loud industrial noise coming from up front.
Wanna go check it out?
Cartoon tiptoes. Ready?
And go.
If you're all sneaking, if you all want to go take a look, give me stealth rolls.
All right.
Woo! I did good.
Oh, come on. Damn it, Anna. I got 6.
7.
Got 10.
18.
Wow.
Jess, you got a 10?
Yeah, 5
Okay.
plus 5.
So you don't really need to start sneaking until you get closer to the front, but the noise is getting much louder. But even despite the noise, you managed to make enough of a kind of drunken scene of yourselves, I guess, that Fidja kind of pops her head around the corner of the front of the train, the Tinker, and she just says, "No, no, 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 no passengers allowed. Get out of here. It's too dangerous."
I mean, is it more dangerous than goop?
Is it what now? No, just get out of here. It's whatever you just said. It's 10 times more dangerous than that.
Hi, Fidget.
Hello, Lunabelle. Can you please go back to your bed?
But Fidget, it sounds so exciting.
It's
and
not
what if we
exciting.
could learn something?
It's standard. We're just trying to deal with this tree.
Standard is very loud, Fidget.
It is, but the cars are set up to be silent, so you should be fine. So just head on back. She's kind of looking over her shoulder, frustratedly back at you.
But I don't want to.
Well, it doesn't matter what you want there, Lunabelle. You have to get back to your room.
But what if I just kept going?
Lunabelle, I ain't your keeper, but it is very dangerous here, and I don't want you to get hurt.
Oh, I appreciate that, Fidget. You're so nice to me. But
Right.
I'm real brave, and I'm pretty smart, and I'm gonna keep going.
I grew up around great big machinery like this. I know how to be safe.
I see. Well, if I can't stop you, then I'm going to escort you, all right? And she goes, she starts walking forward, and with her boot, she starts dragging a line in the snow. She says, "You're not allowed to pass this, but you can watch." And as you approach, there are two, so they look kind of like kegs, but they are 20 feet tall, and they've got legs, mechanical legs, and they seem they have two arms that have clamps on the end, and they just kind of, one of them is clamped around the tree and is just moving itself into the tree, as though there's some kind of buzzsaw built into the front of this keg that you can't see. And as it moves into it, there's a cacophonous sound at this range, and then the tree kind of just comes off, and it turns towards you, and you can see that the front of the keg it's only actually about 3/4 of a barrel, and then there's enough space to wrap around the tree. And the tree gets cut, but everything gets held in place. And then its two grippers kind of clumsily drop the top of the tree off to the side. And it shifts out of the way. It reveals another one of these things that is being worked on by Fidge's goblin assistant, Sneer. And you just see him like poking out occasionally. There's a large wrench that's banging on things, and he seems to have removed one of the grippers from the front, and he's working on something. And Fidget says, "There you go, darling. You've seen it now, and now we're done. It's just chopping the tree down."
Is it gonna stay chopped down?
I certainly hope so. I'm tired of cutting it down, so I hope this time it sticks.
Wait, you've cut it down already?
Yeah, she kind of gestures off to the side, and there are 3 logs, trunks about the same size. They're a little, each one's a little smaller than the last, but Yeah. It seems to be quite voracious.
It's more like you're pruning it, really.
That's right. And fall just keeps coming back at rapid speed. So I'm not sure exactly. Anyway, Sneer's retrofitting the chopper to be more of a digger. So I'm hoping that we can get this uprooted in the next day or so. I figure if we, get it at the roots, then we'll be flying.
Yeah, I suppose you don't know how it's propagating. Have you had Fennel look at this at all?
She has been around, but she's kind of gotten... I think she's starting to, and I mean this in a kind way, to start to go a little native since getting into the woods. I'm a little worried that... Anyway, she hasn't been super helpful.
I feel like at the mention of, like, going native, like, Walker's, like, pointy ears twinge a little bit. But I think she keeps her mouth shut.
Yeah. Fennel is a full elf, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you said that she's, like, full elf, and she looks very, like, somewhat...
I'm sure she's just adjusting to being back in the woods, but, here we are. She did what she could. Her focus seemed to be on saving those 2 folks that were trapped inside this beastie here, but right. So there you go, Lunabelle. Everything's you've been satisfied. Your curiosity's been satisfied, I'm sure, and you can see more of them tomorrow as long as you don't cross this line, and we're good to go. She starts kind of like ushering you, backing you up. What were you trying to say?
No, it's totally fine. I'll turn to my friends and I'll whisper, "Guys, let's go to bed."
I agree. We can try again tomorrow.
I like do like a big like, oh.
I'm so tired. We should just go right back to bed.
Oh yeah, bed, right.
Lunabelle, give me a deception roll, please.
It's gonna be just as bad as it's like. Oh no, it's not. Oh, 16. What?
Fidja says, yes, it seems like you are quite tired, so please, make your way back to the sleeper car.
Okay, bye,
Oh yes, very tired. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for your interest in the logging.
Thanks for showing us. You're the best. Bye.
Okay. So, are you actually going to sleep?
No.
Right. Okay. You just start
Unless
miming.
You guys want to go to
You start miming sleeping as you walk. All right. I don't know. I don't know how you passed that deception check, but I guess you did. Yeah. Okay. What are you doing next?
I mean, can you cross through the train to go around the other side, or is that?
Yeah, between cars it's fairly easy to pass through. There are small little steps that lead up to the connection between the cars, so you can just go up and over without an issue. Or under. There's a lot of room underneath, except you're kind of dragging through the snow and the dirt.
Guys, what if we went and we waited just a little while, and then we went back and we crossed that line in the snow?
But why?
Well, I mean, aren't lines made to be crossed?
I think that line was specifically put there not to be crossed.
What do you think was past the line?
The giant machines cutting up trees.
Yeah, but this tree was going back over and over and over.
That sounds like a tree problem, not a machine problem.
But what if there's something cool?
Can't argue with that. And I was like, yeah, all right, let's go. What if there's something cool?
So
So
what's
we
the...
can't-
Sorry,
We
go
can't
ahead.
do it without you, Walker. We can't do it without you. Are you gonna come?
Oh yeah, I have to say I'm pretty interested in this weird tree.
I think that you're gonna know the most about weird trees, except maybe Sierra, do you know something about weird trees?
Can't say that I do.
All right.
So I guess it's another round of stealth rolls as you try and sneak. Are you sneaking around to the other side, over to where Sneer is? Are you?
I was thinking we might wait just a bit.
Sure.
Just a little while so they forget we.
Sure.
And then we would see.
Okay, sounds good. We'll say you wait, what, 20 minutes? Half an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so give me a stealth roll, please.
I got 13.
I also got 13.
I got 15. Unless this is a forested area and you want to give me advantage for favorite terrain.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Oh, hey! Nope, that was worse.
Okay. Well, enthusiasm that counts. Sierra?
14.
All right. Yeah, you managed to kind of keep your footsteps. You're sobering up at this point a little bit. I mean, the cold air has kind of cleared your mind somewhat, and you make your way back through. You've walked back maybe 4 or 5 cars, and you sneak back around to the front. Sneer is cussing in Goblin, and is like struggling to grab these large bolts to attach what looks like a big shovel arm, like shovel hand, to where the gripper on the. And you can hear him saying, "This isn't what it was made for." This is just gonna snap.
Jordan,
Yep.
can Jessica ask if it looks like this?
It's a lot bigger than that.
Okay.
And the barrel part is kind of upright. It's kind of proportioned like a dwarf is proportioned, or a gnome, where they're just a little stumpier on the legs and big arms. But yeah, the whole thing stands about 20 feet tall.
Wow, okay.
Right, yeah. He hasn't seemed to notice you as you're kind of approaching. I think on this scene, though, we're about an hour and a half in. I think puppies need breaks and things, so we're going to take a little 10-minute break here, and then we'll be back after that with the last half of Cold Iron Episode 4. So, without further ado, we are going to break time. As right now, welcome back to Cold Iron. I almost said Lost on the Great Road. I need to come up with another thing. This is Cold Iron, Episode 4. And where we left off, our intrepid group of drunk, curious people were
Not so drunk anymore.
trying to sneak up a little bit on one of the choppers that has been they have discovered is what is used to chop down trees, in particular the big nasty curse tree. Sneer, the goblin assistant to Fidja, is frustratedly struggling with. Everyone is struggling tonight. All non-humans are struggling in the evening, he's struggling to attach some kind of shovel implement, large, flat, sort of somewhat bent piece of steel to the front of what is normally a gripper on this chopper. And he's just. Does anyone speak Goblin?
No.
I do.
You speak Goblin?
Yep. Common, Draconic, Gnomish, and Goblin.
Then you are. Then you are hearing a string of curses so offensive that their English translation I cannot even begin. We'd get kicked off Twitch immediately if I was to say it.
I just slowly put my hands over Anna's ears. I'm like, don't worry, it's okay, just don't listen.
All you are hearing is a lot of and it's just kind of a frothy kind of speech. And he picks up he's holding onto a bolt that's about this big and just throws it angrily into the snow. What are you doing? What was your plan from here on out?
I think we just wanted to see if we could do it.
Yeah.
Well,
I like put one foot over the line of snow. No, I think I really wanted to see if there was something going on that Fidget didn't want us to know about. Like if there was more to it.
You can all give me perception checks if you like.
15.
22.
Whoa.
Yeah.
19 for Sierra.
21.
Wow.
Damn it, Anna.
Yeah, if there was something to see that was different from where you were, you would have seen it. But you definitely notice you have a pretty good view of this chopper. It's turned the sort of the open part of the barrel shape is facing you, and you can see some of the mechanisms inside. It has a saw, a saw blade that has to be at least 15 feet across inside of it, and it's rigged up on an axle kind of thing, and there is a ton of machinery inside. Anna, your reference to your father's workshops and factories is pretty apt. He employs a lot of gnomes, and this is very reminiscent of their technology that they have. They kind of pride themselves on creating things that don't rely on magic to run, and it appears that this is a large-scale construct built in that same manner. Luna, you don't see any magic. Normally these, you would expect to see runes or something etched around the outside. Nothing like that. These are purely mechanical, and you understand why there would be so much swearing when dealing with something like this. Magic does simplify everything. Sierra, you aren't familiar with any of this kind of automation. You've had to do, when you work on a farm, you just do everything yourself. And Walker, you're more curious about exactly how much tree chopping they're planning on doing if they're bringing these things with them. It looks like if it was going, I mean, a more regular sized tree is probably 1/5 the width of this. It's like maybe 3 feet wide or something like that, as opposed to the huge trunk that's ahead of you. And so these things should be able to chop through quite a few trees if they really need to. And maybe there's a little bit of that half of you that has your genetic link, back to the old forest that is, not necessarily upset by it, but just there's a little twinge in the back of your head about mass deforestation. Walker, did you know your elf parent?
Yes.
Okay. So then you may have heard, especially when they were drinking and getting a little more complainy, like when you're a kid, your mom acts like everything's great, but then the first time you spend time with her and she's had a drink, and she's complaining about work, and you're like, I'm 14. And she's just complaining about something you don't completely understand. You have those memories a little bit where she would be talking about how she remembers hearing stories from long ago about, how Bellisk swooped in and chopped all the trees down, and now her family was driven into the city and this kind of thing. So
Okay.
So there's just a little bit of a reminiscence of this, and the massive scale of this is a little strange.
Yeah, that's not great. Do I see, so like the goblin in the machine do they seem pretty distracted by like trying to switch over the stuff they're doing, or?
He's like so agitated that there's steam coming off of him in the cold. He's so worked up.
Is there any way for us to like get closer to the tree to investigate it, or even the fallen trunks that they've already like chopped down or anything like that?
Yeah, you can attempt to go all the way around to the other side again. You haven't seen where Fidget is, but you do still hear the machinery running on the big. The other one is still trying to chip away at the tree while Sneer is working on the digger. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to, you can always try and stealth around to the other side.
Yeah. So I turn back to everyone else. And I say, do y'all want to try and take a closer look? I think we can get by this guy. He seems pretty intent on what he's doing.
You don't want to know what he's saying.
Not really, thank you.
I think we can sneak past him too. He's pretty preoccupied.
Okay. So yeah, I see if I can lead us towards like the fallen trees or the.
Sure.
I'm interested in either the trees they've already taken down because she said they were getting smaller and smaller, or the roots of the one that's still up, since they're contemplating getting at the roots of it.
Yeah.
Like
So basically, the first chopper you saw has like lowered itself down, sort of the legs have kind of folded up inside, and now the barrel is flat on the ground, sort of, and it's trying to chop away at another like 13, 14 inches of the trunk. So getting near the tree is going to be a little tough because there's the really big saw blade there. But if you guys want to do a stealth roll to sneak around to the pile of previously cut wood, go for that. And you can do yours with advantage there, Walker.
I got 15.
Okay.
18.
11.
21.
All right. Walker's really in her element now and making sure that everyone is not stepping on noisy things, and you scoot around to the other side to these 3 immense trunks that have been cut down. The first thing you note is that the insides are completely rotted away. Like a dead tree hollowed out from the inside kind of thing. It's all kind of settled on the bottom, but there's a thick layer of the goop that is there. The actual, though it is fairly strong, like when you were checking out the tree previously, it felt very sturdy. The actual thickness of the bark is not big. It's like a movie set prop almost. It's just as much as it needed to look like a tree on the outside, and then the inside is just nothing. And so it's also strange that it's so hard for the choppers to cut through. So. Yeah.
That's real weird. Luna, it's like what you said in the lab, where it's more looking like the thing than really acting like it.
Yeah, I've seen people do something like this before, but I have a lot more experience with things that are real and not so much experience disguising things, so I'm not really sure what's going on with this tree, not tree, and sap, not sap, goop, and stuff.
DM, as Walker looks at the trees, she's seeing like as the trees they are indeed like the trunks got smaller and smaller, and did they get any less goopy, or they're always consistently like goop tree?
Give me,
like
if you don't mind, give me a nature check, Walker.
Okay.
Don't you have you had advantage about the woods or anything?
Oh yeah.
You can do it with advantage.
Okay, thank you. 17.
That's good. That's a good number. Yeah, you are like you're not a tree expert by any means. You spent a lot of time in the woods. You do know that trees grow at slow rate usually.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty sure it's shorter every time. Each one is shorter than last because it is growing, but they're getting to it before it gets too tall. The largest log, the first one, is from the original growth of the tree. The next one is the day, later in the day when they left it for a longer time because they were expecting it not to grow back, and they come back, and it's now at about 3/4 of the size because it's just started sprouting up again. The next one is a lot smaller than that one because they realized it's going to grow back. We need to just keep cutting it until... Well, I don't know why they would keep cutting it, I guess, but the logic is that it's shorter every
Well-
time because the growth, they're not giving it
Yeah.
as much time to grow back.
Yeah, well, because logically, if you cut down, like if you cut back a plant, you can weaken it enough, but you're saying it's not a matter of it getting weaker, it's a matter of just time between them. It's still just the same as it was.
Yeah.
I do not like this tree. I would relay that information.
Sure.
I would say, like, I would explain, like, I'm suspicious. And I thought, based on what they were telling us, that the tree was getting weaker the more they cut it, but it seems like that might not be the case. Maybe going in by the roots is their only option.
Whatever put this here doesn't want it gone.
Yeah.
Walker, you are pretty sure that that removing the roots is a good place to go.
Yeah, like this. When she said that, I was definitely like, yeah, it seems like that. Get to the root of the problem. I mean, it's a cliche for a reason. Yeah, I wish we could go investigate those roots, but I don't want to get us in any more trouble.
We haven't gotten in any trouble. We could get in a little trouble just for one night.
The saw blade is starting to withdraw now a little bit, and the grippers are holding on to the kind of a little over a foot of log, and it pops off, and then they start turning towards you.
Beep.
And drop it down with a thud on the pile of logs, but it doesn't seem to register that you're there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it just sort of settles back onto its haunches.
What if, hear me out, what if we took a barrel and we cut some leg holes and armholes in it, and what if Sierra got in the barrel because she's the tallest, and what if she pretended to be a saw machine and went and took some roots out?
Sarah, let's hear your saw noises.
Lunabelle, I think you're still a little drunk.
Either drunk or brilliant, and there's only one way to find out.
Why not both?
I think these barrels are a little bigger than I am.
And then there's a voice. You all hear a voice. It's Fidja. She says, "Yeah, I'm not sure that ruse would quite get past me. Are you ladies sleeping in the bush tonight then?"
Hi, Fidja!
Hello, Lunabelle.
We were just going to bed, remember?
That was about an hour ago.
Really? Fidja, are you feeling okay? And I try and feel her
No.
forehead. It's
No.
only been a minute.
You're not doing this to me, all right? I've seen you do it to others, and you're not doing it to me. I know
Aw,
I'm
Fidja.
fine. I know my wits are about you, about me, and you.
Sure.
So, what are you doing?
Oh, we just wanted to play in a barrel, Fidja.
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer. I just want to know why you told me you were going to bed, and then you were creeping around my work site.
Ma'am, she's just a little curious, and I'm just gonna take Lunabelle's hand and try and lead her along, like, it's okay. We'll look another time. Like, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. I allowed you to come take a look, and then you kind of pushed
She's
my boundaries here.
I'm sure you know her better than I do. She's very, very curious, and her curiosity is only piqued
Right. And
by
so,
a bit of whiskey.
what are the three of you's your excuses then?
She's very endearing.
Right. Babysitting.
We're just very sorry, ma'am.
Just go to bed for real now,
Okay.
please.
Sleep. Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
Bye, Fidja.
Good night, Lunabelle. So are you all heading back to the sleeper cars in earnest?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's time.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So the nighttime passes without too much of an issue. without an issue at all, really. And it is, you hear the saw blades go as you make it back to the car, and then as soon as you go in, it's like the sound is completely dampened. Which is impressive in itself. You make it back, you get to bed, and morning comes. The berths are just simple, like kind of stacked beds, but they all have their own little window with a little curtain on it, and a little bit of sunlight comes in to wake you up. You presumably all head to the dining car for a little breakfast, where there is a man in kind of very business-like attire, suit and tie. He's got some parchment with something printed on it. He has a badge that has the symbol of Bellisk on it, sort of a brass badge. You think this may be Wendell Holm, who's kind of like the bureaucrat that was sent with the train to make sure that it, to recoin a phrase, ran on time. And so he's walking up and down and putting papers down and saying stuff. He gets to your table. He puts the paper down and says, we're looking for adventurers. We're looking for explorers. Have you always wanted to be an explorer? Then we've got a job for you. You look like you know how to explore. It's not not obligatory.
Very early.
Sorry?
Very early, sir.
Well, I'm sorry. I have to get this out of the way. This was scheduled for now, so I'm doing it now. We have time while the train is being repaired, and we would like anyone who's interested to scout out some new interesting locations for us to take the train to. You are the people of Bellisk, and we want you to apply your interests to the destinations of progress. It's all on the sheet, and he turns it towards you. And it is some details. There's some pay for a day's worth of exploration. It's 100 gold pieces each. And then if you actually find an interesting site, historical or otherwise, there's another 500 gold bonus if you can do that.
All right.
You pick a direction, you go in it. We don't really care as long as, well, of course, you come back alive. And if you find something interesting, all the better. Try and keep track of where it is. Maybe we will bend progress in its direction.
I have one very important question, Mr. Holm.
Well, I am very big fan of important questions.
Can we ride the horses?
I think so. It'll be a first come, first serve kind of basis, but yes.
Guys, we gotta go right now.
Well, okay. Or do you actually leave?
I'll grab a paper and I'll stand up and I'll look at them, and then I'll run to where they said the horses were.
Has she never seen a horse before?
Well, it seems like your friend here is very eager for this to happen, so that's good. Make sure she fills out the name. You all fill out your names on that sheet, and you can report it back to me with your findings as soon as you have any to show. We don't expect you to be out for more than a day, but explore as far as you like, and find us something interesting to show, to build the route along, you know? So that there's something to look out at the window.
I guess we're going on an adventure.
I guess so. I mean, I'm just here to hand you the sheet. And he leans in and says, good luck, and walks up to the next table, which is like the family with the mother, father, and the child. And he's still doing the spiel to them.
Is anyone else concerned that the proposition of coming back alive was not guaranteed?
I mean, that was the proposition on the whole trip, really.
I wasn't here from the beginning. I don't know what you're all up to, but generally I'd take steps to remain alive.
I mean, we won't go too far. I mean, Lunabelle's got teeny little legs. Her pony will have teeny little legs. We won't go far. We'll find some non-goopy trees. Look at some leaves. Throw
Non-goopy
some
trees.
snow around. I don't know.
Non-goopy trees would be nice, but I don't know directing folk like that guy there in the direction of some nice trees with all their machinery is the best thing.
Ryder, did you tell us about the boot prints that you found? Like, would the rest of us know that?
It's Walker, and I think I would have communicated everything. Sorry, that wasn't supposed to be like rude. I was just
No, sorry.
Depends on her mode of transport.
yeah. I mean, like we're not. You know what? Once we get on the horse,
Yeah. There's
Then
Walker, Ryder,
sometimes
Floater,
my
Hoverer.
friends call me Ryder.
Yeah. Sneaker, when you're sneaking.
Yeah. But only in my fast shoes.
Sorry, Walker, I missed. Did you tell them about the prints?
I assume if in coming back, you're right. I should have worded that more specifically. I think I might have mentioned it in passing, just like I would have mentioned the trip that I went for a hunt. That I saw some stuff, but no goop. I think I would have mentioned the footprints, but if no one brought it up further, I don't think I would have brought it up much further.
Seems like as good a place to start as any.
Yeah, heavy boot prints. There was about 6 to 8 of them. They're heading northeast. It's got worse than my accent. It's pretty bad. Yeah, if you want to head that way, that's probably something. I mean, we'll get to see if we can figure out. I mean, if we're moving faster on horses, maybe we'll see more.
Lunabelle already at the horse car.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
petting
gone.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's up to you if you want to take this call to adventure or not. There's other things we can do, but.
No, let's saddle up.
Adventures.
All right.
For science.
You all make it down to the stable car, and there are still no one has claimed any yet, and Lunabelle is kind of got her arms out to her side and running interference in front of them to make sure no one gets close to the horses until you get there. So there is Dolce. What does Dolce look like? What kind of horse?
The opposite of what Sierra looks like. She's a very pretty white, sweet looking horse, very demure, and then you just have this dark-haired woman with a big dark coat. Does not look tough or remotely intimidating, just a very delicate looking horse. And it's very nice. Lunabelle comes up to the horse is all I love everybody. Let me love you too.
Yeah, the stable hand that's there says, "This horse is the most calm horse I've ever met."
Seen a lot.
Right, and handled it well, apparently. And he hands an apple to Lunabelle. Give this, I suppose you're all looking to go for a ride. I see that this young lady's got her permission slip, I suppose. Go ahead, give that apple, to your new transportation for the day. And so
I walk up to the biggest one.
So yeah, there are 8 horses total. One of them is Dolce. There is a massive Clydesdale.
Yeah.
You have to throw the apple up in order to get it near its mouth. And it snatches it out of the air without an issue.
Whoa.
And it's big. Its hoof is
A dinner plate.
Yeah.
My whole head.
Yeah.
I would say it's big.
Now I think that maybe that horse is a bit too big for you.
Walker goes over, puts her hands down, and throws Luna up on the horse.
So as she does that, my entire leg just crumples in her hand.
What?
Your
And I
leg
just,
crumples?
yeah, because she's hit my emergency get out switch by accident, and my whole leg, I just sort of fall over.
Oh no. What does that look like exactly? Like,
Well, there's machinery essentially making my entire legs stay in functional position, and there's a switch on the side of one of my feet that I can boop in order to eject myself, and it just shuts the system down. And so it essentially just crumbles, and my legs are just like floppy jello.
No.
Walker like drops to the ground. It's like, I'm so sorry. What do I need to do here to help you? What happened? Are you help?
Oh, it's fine. Don't tell anybody. Come over here.
Okay. And then I sort of block with my body.
Just hold on for a sec.
the stable hand was looking very closely at what was going on because it was kind of a ridiculous situation in the first place, and he staggers over to you and he's holding an apple, and all he can think is to hand it to you. Lunabelle, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm just a little bit leftover drunk, that's all. And I push some buttons and everything reassembles itself, and I stand back up and I give Walker my other leg, and I go, okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is also given the stable hand a chance to put an actual harness on the horse. So,
oh, what's that? Do I need that?
So you're not riding bareback.
yeah, you're gonna need something to hold on to.
Oh.
Maybe you should ride with one of us.
No, I'm good. I can talk to animals. It's fine. Don't worry.
Fair enough. I'll much more gently try and help her out.
And I'm up.
He starts adjusting the stirrups. That's right. To shrink them up as far as they can go, and you can sort of put your toes onto them, and that's about it. He looks over at Walker and says, "Should I tie this person to this horse?"
No, she's never ridden a horse before. Admit that, but she's a fine person. We'll help her out. She's fine.
I'm not sure Bluto is the first horse that she should be riding. She's very confident. I mean, as long as one of you knows how to ride, I suppose it won't be bad.
I mean, I'll look over at Sierra, who I feel like is much more a capable horse person than me. I'm like, Sierra, what?
Lunabelle, don't you want to
help her, right? We can.
Don't you want to ride with Dolce?
But I'm up here.
You are up there.
I'm really up here. I'm taller than you.
I think she's fine if this is what she wants to do. I think we'll just support her in what she does, and,
Well, I mean,
look, watch this. And I talk to the horse because I can do that apparently. And
are
I
you
tell
casting
him
a spell, or are you using your gnome?
it's the gnome thing.
Yeah,
and I just tell him to
No
sit.
thing.
That's
I
like
just tell him to sit.
that's like little forest animals that you can talk to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't talk to the horse?
No, you'd have to cast
Yeah,
a spell.
I don't have a spell. So I just in my brain tell him to sit.
You can still talk to the horse. I mean, you can say things to the horse, and you can make an animal handling check if you want. The stable hand is like lowering,
yeah, it is with small beasts, but apparently I don't know.
The stable hand is like lowering a bunch of parts of the side of the stable car so that there's a ramp for the horses to get down, and he's setting up he's setting up all the rest of you with horses as well. So ready to go. And he opens up.
Only ever spoken to small animals before, so as far as she's concerned, she can speak to all animals.
Yeah.
She's never seen a big animal before.
I just say, go.
Okay.
go now.
Give me an animal handling skill roll.
5.
Yeah, it starts to go real fast.
Oh, fuck.
I need a dexterity saving throw, please.
Also 5.
Yeah, you are flung from this horse almost immediately, and you land with a thud into the snow. You're more hurt in your pride as Bluto is kind of like carefully trotting back to you, and like just looks down and leans down and kind of slurps up your face with his tongue, and then, as though he has made a point, moves back into his holding.
Oh man, that was a big go. It's a big go. Guys,
You want to pick another horse?
Yeah, maybe a smaller one.
There is a smaller horse.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. That one is saddled up now, and you can get up onto it without an issue by yourself. It's not like diminutive. It's it's a little smaller than the average horse, but it's not you're not riding around on a little circus pony or anything like that.
Right. I want to go up and pat the horse and just tell it, like, oh, you got to treat her well. She's never done this before. It's just slow and steady.
Can I get everyone to yeah, okay. The horse kind of looks. I won't get anyone to do anything. The horse kind of seems to bow its head a little bit in reverence and is now starts to gently trot out of the stable car.
He's bouncy.
Anna, what horse have you picked?
Pardon?
Anna, what horse are you going for? Or are you looking
well,
for?
obviously it has to. I'm looking for like one that looks really nice.
Sure.
As in like like a beautiful horse, like the one with like the most sparkle in its eyes.
There's one that has a harness on it that is made out of like really fine leathers. It's another white horse with a silvery kind of mane, and the stable hand says, "This is Lovelace." I see that she caught your eye immediately. She's a bit of a priss, but if you've ridden a horse before, she'll be fine.
Oh, we're just a match made in heaven then. And I want to climb up, but side saddle, and like I want to prance out the really fancy like dressage kind of way.
Give me an animal handling.
Dressage horse.
Give me an animal handling check, please.
Counting on that this horse is trained in dressage.
I got 19.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, that nose is like tucked right into the chest and everything.
Yeah. Lovelace snaps to it immediately, and in that obnoxious way that they do, does that like horse tiptoe out of the thing, and then poses like in a again obnoxious way, and like flicks the hair out of her face.
I do it too, like at the same time.
The stable hand says, "Well, all right, match made in heaven indeed." And he's Walker. Have you got a?
Whatever's like the practical hunting horse.
Yeah. There's a simple horse. Looks like maybe a little bit older, but still kicking. Named Walnut.
No.
Walnut won't let you down.
Good name. Good horse. Let's go.
Okay.
What's my horse's name?
Oh,
Name all the horses.
Yeah.
Tell us the names of all the horses and their breeding stock and their.
So-
Relevant information.
Walnut is kind of a brown, little bit with splotches of black on them. And your horse is a smaller kind of version of the same horse. So the smaller version is Peanut. So Walnut and Peanut.
Go, Peanut.
Yeah.
Go.
Peanut looks over at Sierra when and then just starts to go. So are you heading northwest to try and find the or northeast, pardon me, try and find these tracks?
Let's do it.
All right, can I get a survival
Let's
check
go,
from you,
thank
Walker?
Ooh. 23.
You very easily retrace your steps, and sort of in tracking yourself from the day before, find your way back to where the tracks led, and you just start to follow them now?
Mhm.
Okay. They are faded a bit. There was a little bit of snow the night before, but your excellent tracking skills allow you to kind of keep going. I'll get everyone to do perception checks, please.
I got 13.
18.
20.
16.
So much good looking. Good. You know what I mean. So, Awkward Jonas is back again. So, anyway. Yeah, you are all kind of keeping an eye out as you're going. You're making a pretty good pace. Can I get a, before I do this, the perception check thing, can I, from Lunabelle, can I get a animal handling check from you, please?
Yeah.
You can do it with advantage, actually. For reasons.
Natural 20.
Whoa, alright. Yeah, you have immediately bonded with, with Peanut. He is very eager to please and is finding you to be almost barely there. So moving is very simple. The woods has some wildlife in it as you're going, and you're realizing that it's starting to get a little thicker. Not so thick that horseback is difficult to do, but you are seeing a little bit of signs of life. The horse hooves, the noise from the horse hooves scares off some more deer. You see a bear kind of. Sierra, you kind of notice a bear, not like aggressive or anything, but just following along in the deeper woods along with you for a bit as you ride, and then wanders off. Walker, taking the lead, you do notice that there is smoke coming up. Maybe you feel like maybe a mile off, you can see that there's some smoke, like a campfire, in the loose direction that the footsteps or the footprints are taking you.
I don't know how you guys want to handle this, but I think there's a campfire about a mile that way. I don't know if you guys want to...
Yeah, you don't see any details of what the actual area looks like, even though your eyesight would probably be good enough to do so, because there's enough trees to kind of block the view, but up from the trees there seems to be some campfire smoke.
Yeah, so, like I said, I communicate that to everyone. I say, what do you want to do? Do you want to try and ride up and say hi and hope they're friendly, or maybe go in a bit more quiet? What would you like to do?
Well, we don't know if they're gonna be hostile or anything, so I think we should definitely be careful.
Guys, look at me! I'm doing the horse thing!
You're doing so good, Luna. We're so proud.
I'm following you!
Doing the horse thing. Great, okay. Do you want to sneak up? The horses aren't really good at sneaking, but...
Yeah, should we get a little closer and then get off our horses?
Can I forget the name of the book of the little familiar
Noodle.
Noodle. Can Noodle go ahead? Is that a thing Noodle can do?
Yeah.
Should we send Noodle ahead?
Sure. Noodle can do that.
Okay.
Especially if Noodle can report back to you, that'd be good.
Yes.
Do you want to impart your vision into Noodle, or do you want to... Noodle can't really communicate very easily details, but you can see through Noodle's eyes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can do that, but I maybe shouldn't ride and magically transport my brain at the same time.
Good call.
Also, the range on it, I think, is an issue.
Alright, well, let's get a little as close as we can so Lunabelle can do her noodle magic.
With my noodle.
Noodle magic. So, yeah, you can, you could guide the horses, and I'd let you do a stealth check if you're on foot, so you can bring them closer but not rush in. If that works for you guys. I think it's 100-foot range.
Yeah, it says I can communicate with it telepathically within 100 feet, but then it says also you can see through its eyes and ears.
Okay. Then I'd allow...
But I believe you, whatever you say.
I mean, I'll allow it from a mile away if you want. It just is risky, that's all.
Yeah, he's going.
Alright, so how would you like to approach this before Noodle does Noodle's trick?
Well, guys, what do you want me to find out? And when do you want me to come back?
Just see who's there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they're armed, if they seem sort of friendly, domestic kind of people, or if they're more a hunting party, I don't know.
Okay. I will put my noodle in Noodle.
Okay. And are you getting any closer, or are you still a mile away?
We should probably get closer.
Okay.
Just a little.
Okay. We'll say you get within about 200 feet of the smoke. And, yeah, I need a stealth roll from Noodle.
From Noodle. I have his stats at 1 moment.
It's a dexterity roll.
Stealth is dexterity for him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he has stealth proficiency.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, 11.
One second. Okay, so Luna loses, I guess her eyes kind of go a little white, and she goes into something of a trance, and then Noodle leaves her shoulder and starts flying towards the campsite. Luna, you see a large stone structure, like it looks like a ruin almost, like a few standing stones almost that have tipped over time. They're overgrown with vines and snow-topped, obviously. But then there's a structure, wooden structure lashed to it. It's very crude in its construction. It's very simple, kind of. So yes, a very simple kind of tent setup situation, made out of stretched leathers and wood, like pieces of trees that seem to have just been chopped right from the tree. Amongst this setup, this sort of temporary, in Scouts we called them lean-tos when they were built up against something. There seems to be about a half a dozen orcs in full kind of raider gear. A few of them are sitting around a fire. They've got something of a hunt hanging in one of the things. Can I get a perception check from? I guess it would be your perception at this point.
22.
Yeah, the ruins seem to have something carved in them. Like these are purposefully here, but overgrown long ago. As Noodle kind of does a flyby. One of the orcs looks a little older. He's got a staff in one hand, and he looks up at Noodle as they fly by, seemingly noticing that they were there. You notice, as Noodle kind of looks down at this orc, that the orc's eyes are kind of white as well. That's about all you can get from Noodle View, if you want to swing back around.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I'll make my way back and Noodle View.
All their weapons are kind of stabbed into the ground or leaning up against the stone structure as well. They seem to be having a late breakfast of whatever they hunted the day before.
Okay. I'll come out of Noodle View and relate all of that information to my friends, and yeah.
Okay. What next, buckaroos?
Well, we found a spot.
Yeah, the location's definitely interesting.
Don't know that I want to go closer to it right now.
That's a lot of orcs that we don't know are friendly to us. As you said, their eyes were white?
Mm-hmm. At least definitely the oldest, most in charge looking one.
The other orcs were behaving in a kind of more, what you would call, I guess, typical manner for, where they were kind of talking in orc, and but tossing, like, one was preparing meat and tossing like a haunch over to a person, and they didn't seem to be different, but this one with the staff was.
Yeah, I'm not particularly inclined to want to go pop in for a visit.
I'm curious. It's just not knowing the land. I don't know that it's the best idea. And I mean, you didn't see any signs of goop or anything, right? So.
No signs of tree goop. Although, don't we have an orc back in the chapel?
Half
You
orc.
do.
Yeah.
Well, maybe once she's feeling a bit better, if we're still in the area, maybe she could act as a
mediator.
Yeah.
Well, what if they're looking for her?
So.
Well, she came with us. Didn't she?
I don't think they would know her.
Oh.
Not all orcs know each other, So, Sierra, you have spent a fair amount of time up here. Orc raiders are a fact of life when you run a ranch. They often come and steal. It has happened in your remembrance. They would come and take livestock and things sometimes. Sometimes they would just ask for money, like in an extortion kind of way. They aren't idiots. And they have a sort of cunning to them that allows them to survive out in the wilderness. But sometimes instead of having to work for what they want, they sometimes just prefer to take it. They are often interested in deals as long as they get the better half of it.
They might not be overtly hostile if we came up, but they might be.
Seems like there's no real way to tell without putting ourselves into possible danger. I don't want to assume. I can speak orc. I've known some good half-orc folk, but I haven't known any full orcs myself.
I'll go along with whatever people want, but I'm voting no. At least not without, I don't know, either more information or backup or
our other half-orc friend.
Yeah, and like who knows, like if the orcs come closer to progress, like it might be important to let everyone know that they're nearby and they might want to attack us for what we have.
What if they could be new friends?
Well,
That's
sometimes new
possible.
friends have pointy sticks.
We have pointy sticks.
I don't want to get pointed with a pointy stick.
Well, they were just kind of having breakfast. Maybe if we brought them some, maybe if Walker could catch something delicious, we could bring them something delicious, and then they could be our friend.
Sometimes hunting takes a little while. I can't promise I'd get something lickety-split. Also, we don't know. Like, maybe these are their forests. Maybe I kill something in their forest. They think I'm stealing from them.
I don't think they own anything. I think they just kind of take other people's things.
Do you think we could make friends with them, Sierra?
They're not usually the friendly kind, but there's 6 of them and 4 of us.
That's my main issue, too.
You're probably right that we could trade, but there's nothing we want to trade them for other than maybe looking into that rune they're sitting on a little better.
What if we made a distraction and then they chased the distraction and then they ran away and then we got to check out the rooms?
We could probably cause some kind of distraction.
I can do this, and I cast the minor illusion cantrip to make like a bird sound.
Nailed it.
On the first try.
Well, I don't think they'll be running out of camp if they hear a bird.
I could also do this, and I make the saw sound that I heard the machines make.
It's not bad.
That might do it.
And I could also do this, and then I say, that might do it, just like Anna said.
I mean, the only thing is we don't know if that would get rid of all of them. I think it would be best to investigate without any problems. I don't know. For all we know, only like 1 or 2 go off, leaves 4 of them there.
It kind of looks kind of like they might, like, live there a little bit. Like, not perma live there, but, like, they've set up some shelters and stuff. So I think we might get them to leave for a while, and we could investigate, or we might be stuck with not ever being able to before we have to get back on the train, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what the right call is here, to be perfectly honest. I'm real curious. I want to go see, but I also don't want to not make it back to the train.
Well, what about this? What if I try and make a distraction, and me and Peanut, we gallop in that direction, and I make lots of crazy sounds, and maybe they chase me, and then you guys can go check it out?
No, absolutely not.
But I'm so fast. I'm really good at horseback riding now. You saw?
I agree, you are. I just don't want you all on your own.
And Peanut loves me.
And don't you want to keep Peanut safe?
Peanut's way faster than them.
I mean, they have some pretty long, beefy legs. I don't know. I mean, I assume they're orcs.
Well, if I could have rode Bluto, his legs would have been longer, and it would have been fun.
One day, don't worry.
You'll get there.
Well, what if me and Sierra make a distraction, and Sierra goes galloping really fast, and I go with her, and I make sounds, and I just hold on?
So have all the animals, like you said there was a bear earlier, is that bear still around?
The bear kind of walked with you briefly and then moved off. You've been traveling for a couple hours, so he walked with you for maybe 20 minutes, and then if you're trying to find an animal in particular, you can do a survival check for me.
Okay. 14.
14?
Yeah.
Are you on the lookout for something in particular?
Just something big.
Right. There is. Are you getting off the horse to kind of look around? Are you all off your horses right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The corner of your eye, you see a pretty large shape moving through the woods, followed by a bunch of smaller shapes. And as you approach, it's like a giant badger with a bunch of like little baby giant badgers following behind it.
Oh.
So baby giant badgers are the size of regular sized badgers.
Oh.
She kind of sniffs at you and lets out a little bit of a low, whiny growl as you get close.
Oh. Like, it's okay. What's going on? They treating you okay? How far are we from these orcs? Like,
A couple 100 feet.
so like in the vicinity, but not super close.
You ask what's going on.
Yeah. What's up, Badger?
Says
You gotta try sometimes.
I can talk to badgers, just not big ones.
Are these too big for her to talk to? Could you talk to the
Yeah.
Badger?
Yeah.
I can talk to the baby badgers.
And I mean, there's any number of little wildlife creatures around that you can whisper to. But what you get as a gnome is they communicate in very simple ways.
Like, do they tell her if they're scared or anything like that? Like,
Yeah, you basically get emotional responses. And so, Lunabelle, if you're kind of like just chatting with whatever birds and squirrels are around, the vibe is fairly calm.
So, the animals don't seem worried.
that one does.
It sounds like it's heat.
Sorry, that one's in heat.
Uh,
That one's going to the vet very soon.
So anyway,
Ew.
I mean, if they're calm, maybe we should offer them something to trade.
Yeah,
Well, what do we have?
yeah.
not peanut.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't be trading Progress's horses. If we can help it.
Would I still have any? No, I wouldn't have venison on my person.
that's up to you. I mean, there's saddlebags, right? Like, I mean, you could have brought some. You would
For
have
us
to.
to eat. Actually, that's true.
You would have had to bring some lunch. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have some of my hunt from yesterday. I think it was.
Yeah.
Sierra, do you still have that whiskey on you?
I do. I mean, we drank half a bottle, but
They might like half a bottle.
We have half a bottle of whiskey and a few venison steaks. How's that sound?
can we even talk to orcs? Like, one of you can talk to orcs?
I actually let me double check. Common, elfish, gnomish, orc-ish. It says orc. Why is that one not ish? I don't know. Anyway.
Because orcs just speak orc. I don't know
Orcs
why.
just speak orc. Okay. Okay. I remember that.
And Sierra, you have communicated with, or you have heard of people communicating in the common tongue with orcs as well.
Orc.
So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, let's.
All right.
More fun to do things than not do things.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Well, if
Friendship.
that's a game plan, then I guess let's do it.
How
Do
are
you
you
want-
approaching the orc
I was gonna
camp?
say, do we want like 2 people to stand ahead and 2 people to stand back in case of kerfuffle, or do we want to all go in together?
I think we should tie the horses up to the trees here. And if anything bad happens, we should meet back here. And then maybe you should be in the front because you speak the language. And maybe I should be in the front because I'm the least scary.
I'm fine with that.
Are you approaching on horseback or on foot?
On foot.
Okay,
I think we all tied our horses up a little ways away.
sure. And are you stealthing or are you just approaching as...
I think we're just approaching because we're gonna try and talk and offer stuff. So I
Right.
think
Is it just in exchange to like look around the site?
Yeah,
I'm
for
going to leave
information?
Noodle with the horses, by the way.
Okay. He does fold up and literally into his little pocket dimension if you want.
No, he can stay with the horse.
Yeah. It's just like a book that closes up and he disappears.
oh my god, that's so
Um,
cute.
So, okay, you start moving forward. It really sounds like that cat is here. It's very strange.
Sorry.
It's fine.
The Yorks have a cat.
You start moving forward. Takes about 10 minutes or so to get up to where they are. Now you see the encampment in full as Lunabelle's Noodle explained, and with the crunching snow, a couple of the orcs turn to look in your direction. The one with the staff stands up. Doesn't seem to say anything though. And then a couple of the orcs start to take maybe a dozen steps towards you and stop. And one says, "Who goes there?"
Hello, good day. We mean you no harm. We are visitors to the area. We sort of saw your campfire and we wanted to come over, say hi, see if you wanted to trade maybe some information about the area for maybe something we have that you want. We don't have like we weren't looking for anything big or fancy, just we're new here and we're interested in the land.
We ain't no tour guides.
Fair enough.
Are you approaching still a little bit, or you were yelling? Did you stop when they came up and were kind of yelling across 20 feet or so?
I mean, I think I would have been approaching until the like, we're not tour guides.
Right, okay. So there's maybe 15 feet between you now.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not sure what you need, but we're not too interested in having people hang around here. My suggestion is you all look a little soft, and I suggest you find your way out of this forest now. It would
I kind of like.
Hmm?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I just kind of lean in and look at him and go, "Do you like meat?"
You just say, "Do you like meat?"
Yes.
Okay. He looks over to you and he says, "Funny you should ask that, but yes. You look to be made out of the meat we prefer." The other orc kind of chuckles a little bit.
I kind of look at the others like, I don't want to trade us, guys.
All right,
What-
folks. I think we ought to be moving out.
All right. Thank you kindly.
We're just gonna go now.
Yeah, I guess have a good day. Thanks.
Can I get perception checks from everybody?
Oh, I got. Yeah, roll the one.
Okay.
Natural one. critical. What? Anna.
Anna didn't see. What did everyone else get?
19.
7.
13. Unless I can roll with advantage because we're in a forest.
Yeah, you're always in a forest.
That was worse. No, I'll take the 13.
Okay. Sierra, you notice that they have a giant badger bound up, hogtied, kind of struggling to get out. It's bigger. It's bigger than the giant badger you saw before, like a little larger, and they seem to. They're not like actively torturing it, but it is not being contained in like a. It's not like just in a little gated cage or anything. It's bound up, like hog-tied up, and struggling.
Can I ask Lunabelle? Lunabelle, what do you speak? What languages do you speak?
Common, Draconic, Gnomish, and Goblin.
God damn it. That's not going to help. All right, I'm just going to have to sort of whisper to her. Can you get those ropes undone from here?
At this point, it's about 60 feet away. And are you guys starting to walk back?
I'm walking backwards, like.
Right, okay.
With my hands up.
So, no. No, I can't. Sorry.
Sierra, you turn to look, and one of the orcs has gotten up, and I'm not sure what a noise a badger makes, but I imagine when it's in distress, it's not a very pleasant sound. And an orc has gotten up and has just kicked the badger to get it to shut up.
Fuck no, friend.
Okay.
I could put them all to sleep. I have this really cool music box that pops out, plays this little song, and then boom, sleepy time.
Really?
Mhm.
But is it based on hit points?
So, I just for imagery here, you are walking away from.
I have not. I have stopped.
And I'm with her if
Okay.
she stopped, because she was talking.
The orcs are
Anna's
still
really
standing.
not into the idea of getting eaten.
The
Sorry.
two orcs that came up to you are still standing where they were standing, and you hear their voice saying, "Move along now." And then there's another kind of yelp from the badger as seems to be kicked again.
I'll stay and help him if you want to help him. Sorry.
It's okay. Just like standing there, like shaking her head, like this is not cool.
All right, Sierra, let's save the badger. And I cast magic missiles on the bad guy.
And with that, we're coming up to the end of our session, so I think as Lunabelle turns towards the orcs and says, "I'm gonna shoot the bad guys," I'll let you. You know what? I'll let you roll your magic missile attack against one of them.
Okay.
Well, you don't need to roll anything. You just do the damage. So.
Yeah, this is the one that just hits people.
3d4 plus 3, and who are you targeting?
Whichever one just told us to move along.
Okay, so one of the
Actually,
closer ones.
wait, can I see the one that kicked it?
Yeah, what's the range on?
120 feet.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. I only have 1d4, so it's going to be a few d4. Okay, 3 plus 4 plus 2 is 9 plus, you said 3?
Yep.
So 12 damage.
So your this isn't just a cantrip. This is an actual first level spell, and so your armor has a bunch of glowing kind of gems on it that represent kind of the charge that you have, and so one of them kind of flickers and fades out, and the other shoulder opposite where the firebolt came from whirs up, and three kind of little balls of force energy get launched out, and they all slam, bam, 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 into this orc that's winding up another kick. It tears into it, and he's still standing there, and as he turns back towards you, he starts looking for a weapon, grabs onto the nearest one, and starts charging towards you. And that's where we'll leave it until our next game of Cold Iron. So there you go, episode 4, ending on a cliffhanger with an orc fight that you've desperately tried to avoid, and then I taunted you back into.
Yeah, you did on purpose, you monster.
Well, you know.
Oh, remember that adorable little friend you just made?
But now you have a chance to get a giant badger friend. So, you know, who knows what'll happen. All right, so we'll be back in 2 weeks with our next episode, but Cold Iron airs every Saturday, so you can tune in this coming Saturday to watch the Winter Oak crew do their stuff. A bunch of us are going to be at Fan Expo this week, that weekend too, right? So I know I'm there.
Yeah.
Justin going to be there. Yeah. So I'll be at booth A440 if you want to come by and buy some prints. And are we all going to be at Fan Expo for a little bit? Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna try to make it up there.
Awesome. Well, then we have to do a Cold Iron meetup if we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can all come to my hotel because I'm right across the street, and we can like hang out or something.
Party of Luna Bells.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
We could play some D&D in person.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa.
What?
Maybe we can try and put that together. If you are interested in buying prints from me, then you can come to booth A440. I have a bunch of Critical Role prints now, so hopefully those do well. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday with episode 5 of Cold Iron. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.